You're listening to Blueprint and Soul, a podcast about building from the inside out. I'm your host, Sal Carter. 12 episodes ago, this was just an idea. Not a strategy, not a brand, not a plan with guarantees. Just an idea. And over the course of this season, we've talked about proving, about presence, about overfunctioning, about outgrowing dynamics, about staying aligned when it would have been easier to shrink. But beneath all of that, we've been talking about something simpler. What it means to build. There's something that happens when you find language for your growth. It stops feeling accidental. You may have already been regulating your emotions. You may have already been setting boundaries. You may have already been recalibrating how you show up. But when you can name it, it becomes intentional. And intention changes everything. Because once you have language, you stop outsourcing validation. You stop waiting for someone else to confirm that what you're doing makes sense. This season wasn't about becoming something new. It was about recognizing what was already forming. The builder, the architect, the one paying attention. Language doesn't create growth. It creates ownership of it. One of the quiet realizations I had this season was this. I didn't have to become a creative. I already was one. This podcast didn't make that true. It revealed it. And that might sound personal, but it isn't, because the same applies to you. You didn't become resilient overnight. You didn't suddenly develop self-awareness. You didn't just start building integrity this year. You've been building. Maybe quietly, maybe imperfectly, maybe without recognition, but consistently. Season 1 wasn't a transformation story. It was a recognition story. Recognizing the work you were already doing internally. Recognizing the adjustments you've made that no one applauded. Recognizing that growth doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like staying. When you can name your growth, you stop asking for permission to continue it. You stop needing everyone to agree with your boundaries. You stop shrinking to keep rooms comfortable. You stop performing alignment instead of living it. Self-trust isn't loud. It doesn't argue constantly. It doesn't demand applause. It just stays steady. And steadiness is subtle. It's choosing integrity over shortcuts. It's editing the episode until it sounds right. It's not quitting when it feels uncertain. It's continuing to build even when no one is watching. That's what this season has been about. Not perfection, participation. Here's what I hope you take from season 1. Not motivation, not pressure, not comparison. Ownership. You're the builder, not someday, now. You don't have to grow the way someone else grows. You don't have to articulate it the way someone else would. You don't have to move at someone else's pace. You just have to claim what's already forming inside of you and keep building from there. Season 1 didn't build a perfect structure. It built a place to sit while we built, a place to reflect, to feel, to recalibrate, to speak honestly. And that matters. Before we close, I want to slow this down because reflection isn't something you rush. Everything we've talked about this season lives in the mind, but lands in the body. This is today's soul segment. If you've listened to this season and found language for something you already live in, if you've recognized yourself in the quiet recalibrations, if you've stayed when it would have been easier to shrink, then you've been building. Not loudly, not perfectly, but honestly. And honesty is stronger than performance. We'll take a little space after this, not because we're finished, but because rest is a part of the blueprint too. And when we return, we'll keep building with a little more clarity, a little more confidence, and a little more ownership. Season 1 wasn't about finishing anything. It was about learning how to stay. Learning how to name what we're building. Learning how to trust what we're becoming. And maybe most importantly, learning that we were already builders. Until next time, build with intention and lead with soul.